Tip number 3. If you couldn't tell, I was tipping over. Yeah, that was bad. Oh well. Quick tip number 3. Of the 7 fundamental forces that affect our perception, the recency effect. Now, if you've paid attention to the primacy effect, when you know that that very first impression is the one that stays with us as being the biggest influence. In the recency effect, it's almost the opposite. It's the last interaction you had with someone that stays as the strongest impression we have of that person. So it's the complete opposite of what the primacy effect is. And where this comes into play is, let's say we don't make the best first impression of somebody. Later on it changes and we get a different impression. That's the impression that lays in our mind. So in a way, it's a good thing, right? We're disregarding the stereotypes and the decisions or the judgments, the assumptions that we make when we first meet somebody. Where it can be a problem is, let's say that our first impression was right. Let's say that we meet somebody and they're really great. We see them and we think, this is going to be a cool person. This is going to be a really good person to know. And that's our first impression of them. And over time, we get to know them better, and maybe the last encounter we had with them, they were having a bad day. And so they were really grouchy. You said something to them and they about snapped your head off. If you're a recency effect type person, then that snapping your head off is going to be the impression that sticks with you the most. So you're going to judge them off of a bad day rather than off your initial impression, which really turned out to be right. So it's something, again, you need to be aware of that can cloud our judgment and can affect our perceptions. Just because somebody might have not been the way we expected them to be the last time they reacted with us, it doesn't mean that's that way all the time. And it goes either way. Politicians use recency all the time. You might not hear from them until it's election time again. And then you hear from them a lot. And then as time goes on, you get to get reelected, you don't hear from them again. And then when they start coming around to election, they're back sending you stuff. And you're like, okay, they're really interested in my opinions and stuff. They're relying on people who live off of the recency effect to keep their strongest impression of that person. And that's the recency effect.